What's up, my friends? Back here. Today I'm talking about the Nintendo Switch patent. Let's go inside my computer. Here I found the site NeoGAF, so you have a lot of pictures about the Nintendo new patent. Here the Nintendo Switch. I think in this point everybody knows about the new Nintendo console. So here you have the JoyCons, the detachables controllers, so you can detach the controller to play. This is very nice. And just come back and talking about why the configuration of the controllers is this way. Why you have this analog here, and why you have this analog here, and why you have these 4 buttons here. Because why you don't have the D-pad like a normal controller? Because when you detach the Joy-Con, these have to become the buttons to the second player. If this was the D-pad like a normal controller, when you detach this, where is the buttons to the second controller play? So it will be very weird, very strange to the second player if this was a D-pad, because they need the buttons to play, you know? And when you detach this, here inside you have the L and R buttons, right? So you have these buttons here instead of the pad. But why the analog is up here and down here? The same answer, because when you detach the Joy-Con, if the analog was up, when you detach this part, the analog will be in the right position. And the right position is very strange to be the analog. So you have to put the analog down because when you detach the Joy controller, all the both controllers, the analog will be in the left position. Here's normal, left position, plus the 4 buttons instead of the D-pad. And here the analog done, because when you detach the Joy-Con, this will be in the left position. The right position in this case is left position, you know? And here you can see very well the L and R buttons for the Joy controller. Another pictures, the Joy controller. Here is where the Joy-Con goes. This really looks like the 3DS cartridge. Maybe this is the Nintendo Switch cartridge. And I wanna talk about this. This is very interesting. Because until now, you're talking about this Joy controller. When you detach this, you have inside the L and R buttons, right? Is that L and R? L and R. But I think there are more 2 buttons here. The Z and Z. Z, L, and Z, R. So you have the L, Z, Z, R. This kinda looks like the Nintendo Wii controller. Let's see. You can see in this picture from the Nintendo Wii Classic controller, L and R buttons, and here inside you have the ZL and ZR, and this configuration is very, very good, very nice. You can play everything because you have the analogs, you have the 4 buttons, you have the plus the D-pad, and you have L, R and Z, 2 Z buttons. This is very, very good. Let's take a close on this. L, R, and the 2 Z buttons. This will be very, very nice in the new Joy-Con from the Nintendo Switch. This ZL and ZR. And actually, there are one thing missing here. You have the analog, you have the 4 buttons that is essential for every game. So you have L and R, and then is missing the shoulder buttons that maybe can be the Z, L and ZR, and is missing another analog that normally usually is the camera. But maybe Nintendo can fix that too. You can put the Nintendo 3DS camera here. The new Nintendo 3DS. You have the analog, the 4 buttons, and you have here the camera, you know? It's like another analog here. It's very, very small. And this is perfect for the Joy controller. Let's zoom that. Can you see? Here is the camera. The buttons, the analog, you have plus the D-pad, but here I have the camera, the another analog, and it's very, very small and very easy to use. So this can be in the Joy controller. Maybe Nintendo can put this here, you know, here and here, here and here. 2 mini cameras, you know, and this will be a Pro controller, like a Pro controller. You have everything, 4 buttons, analog, L, R, and Z, L and ZR, and the camera. So this is amazing, 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 fucking amazing. This is another way to play. I think this is a pattern to play like old times, you know. So this is a new way to grab the Joy controller and play in another way, like this, you know, like spaceship games, like Star Wars or Star Fox. This will be amazing way to play like that. You push the button here and play like that. This is crazy, crazy. I really miss playing like this way. And in the end, you have for sure this patent. This patent means the Nintendo Switch can play VR games. So this is fucking amazing. This blow my mind, because when I see this pattern, everything come in my mind. Why did I not think in this before? Because the VR is very expensive, because inside of this you have a display, but the Nintendo Switch is already a display. So it's just a piece of plastic, you know? So you just have to pick up the Nintendo Switch, detach the Joy controllers, and put inside this accessory. So you can play the VR games. And when you're thinking about the Joy controllers really look like the controllers you have to the VR in these days, like the other VRs. The Joy controllers really look like a VR controller. It's like perfect. You detach the controller, this becomes a VR controller, you know? And the tablet display come inside the accessory, and boom, you have the Nintendo Switch VR. This is fucking amazing. If the Nintendo Switch supports the VR, really, this has become a blow mind new Nintendo console. Thank you. See you around.